Then to question 3.1. Without using a calculator, determine the value of the sum from y is equals to 3 to 10, 1 over y minus 2, minus the sum y is equals to 3 to 10, 1 over y minus 1. So this is coming to our interpretation of sigma notation. So ideally, the first step would be to actually sub in these values of from y is equals to 3 to 10 of each of these specific functions. So the first one would actually be, and if you were to just draw this here for our own understanding, so it fits. So what they're basically telling you here is, in each specific series, and remember how we actually figure out the number of terms in each one. We take the last point, the end point, which is 10, minus the initial point, which is 3, plus 1. So the number of terms will be 10 minus 3 plus 1. So there'll be 8 terms, or 8 terms in each series. So once we sub it in, let's actually go have a look. So the first one, if we sub in 3 there, we will get 1 over 1, because 1 over 3 minus 2, plus, and each time we go to the next number, so now we'll sub in 4, so 1 over 2, and sub in 5, we get 1 over 3, and until we get to the last point where we sub in 10, and here let's just see, maybe it's a pattern here, 1 over 8, because 1 over 10 minus 2, and then we're subtracting the next term. The next term is slightly different because it's 1 over y minus 1, but the concept still remains the same. So 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 plus so on, plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 9. Now, as you can see here in the pattern, we take in the first couple of terms, subtracting the last couple of terms. So ideally, what's going to happen is the ones that are repeated, for example, 1 over 2, 1 over 2, and 1 over 3, 1 over 3, and so on. All the ones in between are going to cancel out. And the reason for that is because of this minus sign in the middle. So ideally, this 1 over 2 will cancel out. This 1 over 2, 1 over 3 will cancel out. 1 over 3, 1 over 8 cancel out. 1 over 8. And the only ones we'll be left with is 1 over 1 minus, and remember, don't forget that minus sign here. So it'll be 1 minus 1 over 9. And that's the reason why they said without using a calculator, because generally there's some pattern involved, and then you get your answer of 8 over 9.